How important was that win at the weekend? It was such a big game against Inverness, possibly one of your rivals for the playoff.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously Ayr and Inverness was two big games for us. You know, couldn't play either one of them in the playoffs, so it was important to stamp our mark on them games.
Does it set down a psychological factor ahead of any possible games against them in the playoffs?
I think so. You know, obviously playoffs is a different scenario, but I still think, you know, going into the games off the back of 2 wins, so close together, it's a big mental step for us. Yeah.
Can you talk through that goal at the weekend, Pavel's goal? I mean, it's already been tweeted by FIFA and everything on social media.
It was a great goal. It's, you know, going through the goals I've been involved in games, I think it's one of the best I've seen actually. Like, you know, for the ball not to touch the ground and then Pav to hit it with his left foot like that was a great goal. Yeah.
How important is it to keep momentum going now? We're at this business end of the season really. It's such an important next few weeks for the club.
I think that's, you know, what we've been talking about a lot is keeping the momentum and winning games, and it's a mentality, isn't it, you know, winning. So I think if we can keep on, you know, getting the performances that we have been, that's really important going into the playoff games.
And how do you view the final 2 games of the league season? Because you are secure in second, the title seems not mathematically impossible but as good as gone.
Yeah.
What's to play for in these final 2 games?
Like I just said, you know, momentum's obviously massive. You know, you want to go into the games of good performances. Obviously, the home game at the weekend. You know, we want to win all our home games and you know, get the fans going, and you know, going into the playoffs with our support would be great.
Has there been any discussion at all in the changing room in terms of kind of like where your season is at now? Because obviously you're saying there that it's about taking momentum into the playoffs. Has there been kind of like a discussion to say, right, this is where we are, looks like we're going into the playoffs and this is how we need to go forward?
Not really, you know, it's about performances for us. You know, obviously a new group coming in, we wanted to get performances right, and I think we're starting to get that now. We've gelled a lot as a team, and obviously going into the back end of the playoffs now will be good for us to keep it going.
Do you look at the teams above you in terms of teams at the bottom end of the Premiership, in terms of like what teams you could face if you were to get to a playoff final?
Not really. I think, you know, you obviously got to get through that playoff game first, so you can't look too far ahead. Focus on the games that we've got coming up and then into the playoffs, and taking that momentum with us is massive.
How much pressure do you feel is on the players at the moment? Because it's such a big deal to get back to the Premiership, isn't it, for the club?
Of course there is pressure, and our playoff games are pressure, and I think the players in the dressing room have dealt with that before in their careers. You know, there's a lot of boys that have won things before, so you have to deal with that. That's part and parcel of it, but I think there's enough players in the dressing room, there's enough experience there to deal with that.
The game on Saturday is going to be a completely different game to the last 2 because you've got Falkirk who are fighting for their lives at the bottom. Do you play that in a different way at all when you go out and approach it as a player?
You know, every game's different. You set up differently, and that's part of the game plan. But obviously, Falkirk are fighting for their lives down there, so they're going to obviously come and put up a fight. But for us, it's about performances, like I said before. If we can get our performance right, then we're capable of beating anyone in this league.
Certainly Dundee United seem to be peaking at the right time to keep that momentum going to go into the playoff games. That must be, from the players' point of view, really positive from them.
Yeah, definitely. I think peaking performance-wise and fitness-wise as well. A lot of boys coming in January wasn't, you know, I've played a lot of game time, but now we're peaking fitness-wise as well, which I think is massive going into the back end of the season. With the most important games for us are going to be the playoffs.